thought it was about time I did another Q&A. So I've still got loads of questions left over from my previous request. I mean, feel free to always send in questions, and I'll just keep adding them to this book. But these ones are mostly from Campervan Tales. Daryl decided to send me a whole bunch of questions, so I'm going to answer them. The first one is, who did you have a crush on growing up? Film, TV or music? Well, that kind of changed. When I was very little, I loved Shakin' Stevens, but I don't know if it was a crush or his music, because I was probably only about 4 at the time. But I do remember being called in when he was on Top of the Pops and getting very excited. And then as I got older, I was very much into Bros, like Matt Goss, New Kids on the Block. Oh, no, it wasn't, not Matt. Matt was the other one, wasn't it? Luke and Matt. I can't remember. Anyway, one of the Bros brothers. That's how much they stuck in my head. Yeah, New Kids on the Block. Really loved Joey from New Kids on the Block. And then Take That, I think, was after that. Had a real thing for Robbie. Still think Robbie's quite nice. Movie-wise, Christian Slater. Had a huge thing for Christian Slater in my mid to late teens and watched all of his movies and knew lots of the lines off by heart. I had lots of posters of him all over my bedroom. So literally my bedroom and my bedroom ceiling literally was wallpapered, one next to the other, with New Kids on the Block and Christian Slater posters. So there you go. How many dates with Lee before you realised he was the one? I don't know really. I didn't really fancy him when I met him. I thought he was a lot of fun and what have you, but everyone said he wasn't my usual type. And I didn't really know I had a usual type, but everyone said, he's not your usual type. And I guess that's what it was. He wasn't my usual type, but he had me in hysterics. And yeah, you know, I don't know. I really don't know. We got together sort of the August, and then within 9 months I was pregnant, and that was not intentional. So yeah, I don't know how many dates, but yeah, I haven't got an answer for that, I'm afraid. I don't have an answer. We grew into each other. There you go. What do you think Lee thinks is my most annoying habit? I think I said this to him. It's to Lee, not to Daryl. My most annoying habit is that I tidy things up and he doesn't know where I put them. And I like things to be just so. I would imagine those are the most annoying things. Like I can't settle until things are just so. I can't settle for the most part anyway. I've got the energy of a Duracell bunny. So what is Lee's most annoying habit? Lee's most annoying habit is, it used to be, but he doesn't do it now. It used to be that when he used to come in from work, I was childminding and I was cooking dinner for the kids, and I'd cleared all the surfaces to put the plates and stuff out on to serve dinner, and he'd come in and literally, if there's a surface, he would just go and he'd walk in and put his keys down, his phone down, his wallet down, and I'd just be like, oh my God. And to be fair, he does still like to fill surfaces. He's got a real thing about filling surfaces. If there is a clean surface, he will put something on it. Let me just readjust you. There you go, I think you're slipping. So yeah, probably that's his most annoying thing, is that he fills surfaces. If there is a space, he will find something to put in it. If I in the bedroom, I used to have really nice, I was like, can we just have one place that's just nice, that's clear, that's just... And as the years have gone by, he has slowly filled every surface with something. Collectibles, gadgets, all that sort of thing. To the point where even he said he was going to get a unit to go on the wall for his Hot Wheels, a display cabinet. And I said, yeah, that's great. That gets him off the surfaces. And I was away, and when I came back, the cabinet was bigger than he expected, and he'd taken everything off my dressing table and he'd put it on my dressing table. It's still on my dressing table, but I did flip a little bit at that point. And I said, you can have it there, but you won't be able to see the ones on the bottom, because my mirror is going back there and my products are going back there, because I use those on a daily basis. So, yeah. What was my favourite subject at school? Art or child development? I took a child development course for GCSEs. Really enjoyed that 2 years of doing that. Had a child study for the whole 2 years, so I got really close to my mum's friend's daughter. She was really sweet, Stephanie. And I'd go and spend usually 2 or 3 afternoons a week with her. Made her toys, all sorts of things. She came to, we'd have Christmas parties at the school that our class had organised, and the kids came along. It was really good. Loved that subject. Yeah, or art in my sort of lower school years. I really enjoyed art and cooking. I really enjoyed the cookery lessons. Hated PE. If I was hosting a dinner party, living or dead, who would be the 3 most famous people you would invite and why? I mean, obviously, this is the way I've written it. Obviously, I would be hosting this dinner party while I was alive. I wouldn't be the one living or dead, to clarify. The people I would invite if they were living or dead, I don't know. Who would I invite for dinner and why? I think I would invite Nathan Fillion, because he is the one person I am allowed to get jiggy with and Lee's not allowed to say no to. He is my exception to the rule. He might not want to get jiggy with me, to be fair, but I do quite think Nathan Fillion is rather yummy, and he would definitely come to dinner, and I wouldn't want any other people to attend. There would be no 3, there would just be me and him. Anyway, other than Nathan Fillion, who would I invite? I think I'd like to talk to somebody quite, this is going to sound a bit cliche, isn't it, but somebody quite intellectual, and I think Darwin maybe, although maybe we've moved on from Darwin's initial theories, and so actually he wouldn't sound so bright in the new light of evolution and stuff that we've learned going forward. So maybe I need to pick somebody who's more relevant and now. Yeah, Caesar Milan currently, he'd be cool because I like his approach of the pack mentality training on dogs and the more gentle training, correction, that kind of, you know, talking to dogs as dogs. That would be quite an interesting person to have. If I had a choice but could only have one, what would I have? A bigger house or a bigger garden? A bigger garden. Ideally, I would like to have one more bedroom in our house. Somewhere where Lee could put all of his gaming stuff. Kenzie could do, I mean, Kenzie doesn't need it really, but maybe, or even 2 more bedrooms. One so that Brendan could have a bedroom set up for him when he comes to visit. And a second, like the 4th bedroom, would be a gaming room where Lee could put all of his knickknacks and gadgets and stuff, and it'd be a room I don't really use, and I could shut the door on, and if it becomes a tip and dusty and disgusting, that's his problem, not mine. Although I would know it was dirty and disgusting, and I'd probably have to go in anyway. But yeah, I think that'd be quite nice. But I would love a bigger garden because I like the idea that the dogs could run around. I've always said if I could have anything, if I had some money, I would buy a field. I would just want a paddock of some sort. And yeah, I think it would be nice for the dogs to have more space to run. I'd like to then, if I had a bigger garden, I could have a bit of a pond, proper big pond, and the geese could just mill around out there in the garden, you know. I could have a lot more plants, get a ride-on mower. So yeah, probably a bigger garden. But if not a bigger garden, then a bigger house, and that would be what I would choose it for and why. If you won £1 million, what is the first expensive thing I would buy? I don't know. We need new carpets on the stairs. I want a paddock. I'd get somebody in to come and decorate. Yeah, new flooring downstairs. Someone to put some electrics in the conservatory and one of those heat panels. Maybe aircon, but I think it'd look a bit ugly. Solar panels maybe on the roof. I don't know. Passports, trip to Machu Picchu. If reincarnation exists, what do you think I was before? I don't know. I always thought as a young child that reincarnation was a thing, and that I had been here before, and that I would come back. But I always felt that it was reincarnation as in I'd come back as an animal. I didn't necessarily think I'd come back as a human. I want to say I was an animal in a past life, because I think I have quite an affinity with animals. And I always have more of a, I wouldn't go so far as to say I have a Buddhist approach to animals, because obviously I have put poison down to kill the rats when they have taken over my loft. Shush now. Sorry about that. Shush now. But yeah, as regards to what would I like to come back as is the next question to that. What would I like to come back as? I don't think I'd necessarily want to come back as being a human. I think that's quite hard, but maybe that's because that's the only body I'm in, so the only body I remember right now. I mean, I'm sure animal life is quite hard. Being a pet, you have to rely on your human looking after you, and you'd be trapped. Being a bird, maybe. I'm scared of heights, but having that ability to fly and see the world from above, that would be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah, maybe a bird of some sort. What fascinates you about true crime? Yeah, because I watch a lot of true crime. I think I am intrigued by why people do things. I'm fascinated by body language, and I don't mean, just because you shake your head when you're saying yes means you're lying because your body's saying you're saying no. There's more nuance than that. That's not as simple as. But there are things like where people go eye-wise for their thought processes. If you're trying to think about something that you have memorised, your eyes tend to go to a different part of the learning part, and so your eyes would maybe go up to the side if you're thinking about something you've learnt about. And if you're trying to think of a memory from childhood, so I've just done it without thinking about it, a memory from childhood, my eyes are going down here. And it's a simple test you can do on a lot of people, is just say, can you tell me about your garden at home? Can you just describe your house at home when you were growing up, please? And they'll go off. And that is, and it's standard for most people, but sometimes that person's standard might be different to others. So you have to know what their baseline is. And you can get their baseline by asking those simple questions. It means they have to go into the memory sections of their brain. And that's where my memory section is, down there. And then if you say to them, can you tell me what 6 + 4 is? And you'd be quite often I'm going up to the learning part, and 6 + 4 is 10. But do you know what I mean? Maybe a harder question than that. But they have to go to their thinking memory. They're accessing different areas of their brain. And I find it really fascinating with true crime. 1, what makes somebody do what they do? 2, how can they hide what they've been like, or have they really? But the people, because some people stay in terrible relationships and they can make excuses for their partner for so long, and then say their partner murders them. You're kind of well, how did it get to that point? How has that person hidden what they're really like for so long from so many people? Are some people born evil? Or, which I guess is narcissism. I'm not saying all narcissists are evil, but they have a higher chance of becoming an evil person because they're very self-centered. So it's the narcissism, it's the psychopathy, it's all of these kind of things I find fascinating. And then when they're being interviewed, or when you see them doing a plea to the public, and you're looking at them, and you're I'm looking and dissecting the body language and the way they're speaking and their tones of their voice and the words they're using. And I'm no expert in this, but I find all of that fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And then I like to know what the conclusion is. I like to know how they get caught. A lot of people, narcissists in particular, think that they are smarter than everybody else, and that's what lets them down. So yeah, and it's really easy to be able to do a jigsaw puzzle, or to be cleaning out the stables, or to be going on a hike or something like that, and have one playing in my ear. It's not a visual video, it's something that I can listen to. And it's a story, and I find that really interesting. So there you go. One more. If you had the ultimate power to change one thing In the wide world, what would it be? Something, if I could change anything in the whole wide world, what would it be? I think probably what we're all doing to this planet. I'd like us, I'm going to have to word this very carefully, aren't I? Because it's like a wish. If you say it wrong, then the consequences could be worse. I would like us all to live harmoniously on this planet, but have enough for us to be comfortable and happy and survive without impacting the planet and the other species on this planet. Yes, that's what I think too, Raz. Raz agrees with me. Right, and on that note, 16 minutes in, that's a good video. I'll see you lovely lot in the next video. Thanks for watching.